Hey there, it's Tuesday, June 15th, I think it is. McCry and I are taking a well-deserved break here on a random bridge somewhere on the Superior Hiking Trail. McCray's hitting it hard, as you can see. Actually, his feet been aching a little bit, and so we found this bridge. It's shady, it's beautiful. We can hear a little bit of water running in the background, and we just decided it would be good if we both stopped, elevated our feet over our heads, and let the blood drain back to where it should be. And we're not in a race. And we've got about 5 more miles to go yet today before we're at Western Fox Farm Campground, whatever that means. The weather continues to be absolutely perfect. It's supposed to get down, I think, in the upper 40s tonight. It's been in the 70s all day today. Sunny, got a nice breeze, enough to keep the mosquitoes away. And we're having a good time. McCray's had to tape his feet a couple of times, having a little bit of blister problem. Actually, not a blister problem yet. We're taking some preventative measures, or he is, before they become blisters. So that's just wise hiking practice to do. Oh, anyway, we're having a good time. Like all times that we hike, we're getting tired and wish we were to our destination. On the other hand, we don't usually go more than a few hundred yards, and one of us says, "Isn't this beautiful?" So it's exactly where it ought to be. It's beautiful. Okay, so with that, I'll leave you, and I have no idea when this is going to get on. I tried uploading a video earlier today. We were up on a bluff overlooking Lake Superior, and the video too big, wouldn't go out. I suspect this will probably be the same, and I very well may be home before you ever see it, and that's okay too. Okay, just remember, half the fun of going is getting there. We'll see you later. Bye-bye. Hello again. Well, we're making an unexpected extension to our day number 2 trip. We'd gone, I don't know, I guess close to 15 miles, 14 some, to a campsite, and McCray and I both were running out of water, and we found out that the water source was a nasty beaver pond, and it was nasty. We could have filtered it and used tablets and been okay, but it just was not appetizing. Had a young lady, a teacher that was camped there, and she said if we'd go 2 more miles, or 2.5 miles, to Sucker Creek, which is where we're heading now, that we'd find a flowing stream and good water. So we took a half-hour break, drank what water we had, and we've still got about a mile and a half left to go before we call it a day. So I'll check in after a bit, and once we get there and get camp set up. Remember, half the fun of going is getting there, I think. Later. Hi everybody. Well, McCray and I are about ready to call it a night. Climbed in our tents, hiker midnight. Tonight it's 8:30. Anyway, had a great day, but a long one. We put on close to 18 miles. The last 2.5 weren't planned, but after going up a series of what we call PUDs, P-U-D-S, pointless up and downs, went over the 1,500 foot mark, I know that, and then down to 0, then back up and down and up, and we were walking along the edge of a clear cut, and that clear cut went for miles, honestly. And the sun was shining in, and there were 4 or 5 year old popple trees that were tall enough to block the wind, and yet they weren't tall enough to give any shade. So it was tough. Then to compound matters, water sources are few and far between here on the Superior Hiking Trail, at least this section. The streams are dried up. Even the mud holes are dried up. We could have drawn water out of a couple of ponds, but I wouldn't want my dog to drink out of them, let alone people. So we walked into the campsite where we thought we'd be, and we met Chelsea, a teacher who was out on a through hike with her 2 pups, and she told us about this site called Sucker Creek. Come down 2 miles, and it actually has flowing water just across, not too far from where we are. So we toughed it out and came the extra 2.5 miles. Basically drug ourselves in. Boy, we were tired. And first thing we did was sit down and rest for about 5 minutes. And we went down to the stream and filtered 2-3 liters of water. We just sat there and drank water. And like McCrae said, it's the best thing he ever drank in his life. We were dehydrated and we were thirsty. And after 18 miles, or almost 18 miles, rightfully so. Anyway, so that's today's story. The bad news was we didn't really want to walk as far as we wanted to, or did. The good news is that leaves a real short 12.5 mile walk tomorrow to get to White Pine Campground, and then after that it's just a 7 or 8 mile walk on into the trailhead north of Duluth. So unless something bad happens, we've about got this baby in the bag. McCrae didn't sleep real good last night. The sleeping bag and liner that I gave him just didn't work out for him. So I told him I'd switch, and he's got my quilt tonight, my 10-degree quilt. He was cold last night. He'll definitely be warm tonight. And I've got the sleeping bag and the liner, and I'm about ready to melt to death. But it'll feel good at 2-3 o'clock in the morning when it really gets cold. So that's about all the news. Met a genuine through hiker today. Trail name was Jenga. And that's a game that he's named after. Anyway, from I guess he's from California. Just was out in Colorado, tried to do the Continental Divide Trail, but he found out there was too much snow up in the Rockies. So he's back here doing the 360 mile Superior Trail, and just waiting for the snow in the Rockies to melt, and then he'll go back out. And he's what we call a professional hiker. Nice guy. And we talked for quite a while. And then we found out that Chelsea, the lady that was the teacher that was at the campsite we thought we were going to stay, she through hiked the Appalachian Trail on, I think it was 2016. And 2014, 2016. Anyway, of course, I found that out, and I had 10 billion questions to ask her. And didn't learn anything I didn't know, really. But it was sure good to talk hiking with her. And she assured me I'd make it. Just take one step at a time. So I think that's pretty neat. Okay, well, it's time for me to get my hand out of the way. And then it's time that I call it a day. I'm beat. It won't take me long to go to sleep. So Yeah. Good night to all. Just remember, half the fun of going is getting there. Good night.